Like, well, he mentioned the Monique video.
That's from Club Shay Shay from a year ago. So, what's out?
Oh, he's known to be going around town with like young white women.
I guess. Oh, well, I don't think it was really, I think age was more of an issue than race, but
Okay.
I think what's going around on the internets and Instagram and stuff now is just about this whole potential filing of a lawsuit
Mhm.
by a former girlfriend who happens to be, I guess, at this age 21 and he's 56. The hot take I think is more about, would you date somebody younger than yourself, and how much younger would you date, and what is too young to date at a certain age? Everybody at this point, particularly if you go onto Instagram, it's like, please take me out of the group chat, because there's been texts and stuff released about, the situation with Shannon Sharpe and this young lady. And I know I want out of the group text. I don't want to hear anything else. There's conversations that could be had around, because a lot of it is not good. A lot of it has some racial overtones. I don't want no parts of this. Please take me out of the group text, because I never needed to know this about you. Never, ever, 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 ever in my entire life.
Well,
Ever.
he's my boyfriend played an Instagram reel where they were airing one of the phone conversations.
I didn't, thank you. I didn't hear that. Thank you, Jesus.
Okay, do you know what it? And
Because
that's
the
and
stuff is
that's
bad.
I was and so he said, "Oh, I think they like to role play." And
Correct.
I was like, "Wow, I mean, this guy has been on TV for a long time. I understand you may have some intimate tendencies that, hey, you live your life behind closed doors. I'm not judging you on the choices you make, but you're in the entertainment industry. I mean, there's certain things like I wouldn't document. I wouldn't text certain things. Shouldn't you know better? That's what was the first thing that popped in my head. Like,
Right.
why are you texting this stuff? Well, maybe you don't know that you're being recorded. I mean, I don't know how you wouldn't know. I mean, in this day and age, you should be smarter about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's not only that, you have a higher profile and you have a reputation slash image that you need to protect, but I mean, people do all sorts of things,
Mhm.
but it's not my business, and we don't want to be part of your group chat. And now we've all become part of your group chat because you put out a whole bunch of text messages, and then you got, I guess, audio out there too. And it's like, dude, I did not ever need to know any of this about you ever in life. And now that it's out there, some of it is disturbing in so many different ways, not because that's what you're interested in, but more so just some of what is being said. It's like, really? Like,
Mhm.
are we doing that in this day and age and saying stuff like that? And then a lot of focus is on her age, because when you first got together, she was 19 and you were 54. And so there's some dynamics there already that are, you can say a lot of things about that whole dynamics, because
Tell
at,
me,
at that
tell me.
point you're talking about a 35-year difference. What do you have in common with a 19-year-old at 54? I
Yeah.
mean, because dating younger, I mean, for us that are in our fees, dating younger, if you date somebody in your 40s, you're dating younger.
Mhm.
If you're dating somebody in their mid to late 30s, you're dating younger. So is there a problem with dating younger? To me, not so much. But then it becomes, how much younger? 54 and 19, that it starts telling somebody that you don't, not only do you not want to deal with anybody around your age, but you don't want to deal with anybody that has an opinion, has lived some life or anything. You're trying to pluck up somebody straight out of high school and potentially trying to shape them and mold them. Like like, what, at the age you are right now, what do you have in common with a 19-year-old? a 19-year-old, like, just,
Well,
and
I'm trying, like, this is the thing I always do. I try to put myself in other people's shoes. It's like,
okay.
as a society, it's like the one on one side, it's just always been like men have not it's a different standard for men to date younger than for women. Like, there's, there isn't the criticism there because we're in a male dominated society. But for me, I also think like, I've just always been a mature person. So I just don't see, like, as soon as age is in the room, like a younger person, like there's a certain attitude I already start to take. Because you look at people, for me, you look at people up until a certain age as like childlike. So when I think of like a child with a grown man, like that disturbs me. Like I'm already thinking like something is highly inappropriate because that's like a child. Yeah.
I
And
mean,
but is that because of society? But then I think like for men, or, maybe at that point when I don't know if it's about molding, but it's like, if it's like about a sexual attraction, then is that all it's about? So it's like the age, I can kind of see how the age sort of withers away. If you're just about like the body and the sexual
no,
attraction, and is it that, it's not so much about the intellectual exchange, or maybe there's a sort of sexual emotional exchange that is happening.
okay,
I
say
see
a
your
what
face. I
now?
see your face.
Yeah,
I'm just
no,
expressing,
no.
I'm just
I
expressing,
know.
because like, sir,
I
I
understand what you're saying,
because
but I'm like, say
I
a what now?
perceive, I need very different things. I need specific things when I'm in a relationship with someone. But what I've observed is people need different, some other people are looking for other things,
Correct. I mean, I like I
you know.
said, I get that much, but I think there is a point where you are kind of like, people are always going to date older than themselves or younger than themselves. But there is a point where it's like, and you have brought up Monique's name because I think it was around this time last year, she was on Club Shay Shay, and she had specifically told him, like, hey, you need to stop dating them younger girls. You need to get somebody closer to your age who can take care of you, blah, blah, blah. She did it in a very funny way if you go back and, see the clip. And
Hmm.
somebody else, I think it was maybe Cat Williams or something, had said something similar. I think, there's dating younger and then there's this. Because there's so many age range between where you're at, be it even, late and stuff, that you're already talking a good 10 to 20 years younger than yourself. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's not that like there is a problem with dating younger than yourself, but then there there's the issue of at a certain age, it's like, and I understand what you're saying, there's something else people getting out of it, but at some point it's like, why?
Well,
And
to me, it's like, well, they get something out of it, and that's the priority, or that's the only
but
focus. It
from
doesn't
the other,
matter what they know, where they've traveled to.
and because like 19 and 54, like, what? No, I would be like, no. I see. I think that's no. I mean, I
There's some
understand people be.
19-year-olds who are
I
very curious
understand.
and talent. I'm not trying to defend this situation.
No, I
I'm
think
merely
you.
we're just
Yeah.
discussing.
I think
I'm just
you.
having a lively discussion,
Yeah, like
you know.
I get that people are mature at 19, but there's still some, like, there's some questions. I have questions. I mean, and like I said, to each their own. You know, I, our society then told people at 18 that they're an adult. I don't know if that's the best thing because, there's still some developmental issues for all of us at the age of 18, 19, 20. But nope, our society then told people you're an adult at 18, even though there's certain things that you can't rent a car till you're 25. You can't you can't do certain other things, but you can vote at 18. Unfortunately, people don't take advantage of that opportunity. But yeah, I mean, and what was interesting in the last week, so what also is out there is, like Tracy Ellis Ross was on Michelle Obama and her brother's podcast, and she was talking about dating younger than herself.
Mhm.
And she was saying that, she's dated her own age and stuff. And at this point in her life, she doesn't date around her own age as much because of toxic masculinity. So she does tend to date younger. So I had seen a clip where Shannon Sharpe says, well, see, y'all don't have a problem with Tracy Ellis Ross dating younger, but you got a problem when I date younger. But she didn't say she was dating 19-year-olds. Again, dating younger could be dating somebody in their 40s. It could be dating somebody in their 30s. She didn't put an age out there as
Mhm.
far as who she just said, she tends to date, younger than herself. Don't use that as an excuse for this whole cluster that you done gotten all of us in that and invited all of us into that we don't want to be a part of. Take the conversation for what it was. Like, you can ask her the same questions that somebody's asking you, but then don't say, well, why is it okay when she do it, but not when I do it? Men have been dating younger for a millennium.
Mhm.
You're just now getting into women more recently dating younger. But again, for, females dating younger, I would tend to say, like, if you're in your 50s, you probably are going to find somebody more so with somebody in their 30s, maybe with somebody in their early 50s and stuff. That's still dating younger, but that is a big difference than you dating somebody that, yeah, is 19. But I mean, like I said, I don't think there's a problem with dating younger, but then it becomes how young is too young for you. I
Mhm.
don't want to be bothered with a 19-year-old. Outside of talking to a 19-year-old about music, you would annoy the hell out of me, and I would have to tell you to shut up. And I wouldn't want to spend no time with you. Like, cause you would be annoying me talking about all the dumb stuff that your generation be talking about that I think is stupid already. So, like, that would just be me. Like, y'all already
No, I
know
mean,
that I have a problem with millennials and Gen Zers are special, just as special as the millennials. So why am I gonna sit up there and get with a 19-year-old and have you just talking a bunch of nonsense to me? I don't have time. I don't have time.
mm.
Outside of us probably talking about some music and maybe some movies, we don't have nothing in common because I'm be like, you don't have a job. I ain't paying for you. What you bring
Well,
to
I
the table?
mean, it does well, like, yeah.
Like, you would,
I mean, I do think maybe yes, there is too young. There is too young, but some people don't look
you
at it
know,
that way. And in his case, it didn't
right.
work out for him.
No,
And maybe
obviously
he'll
so.
learn his
But,
lesson. I don't know.
well, I just know I want out of the group chat. Don't keep releasing stuff. Release it in court. Don't keep releasing stuff in the public because we don't want to know. We know too much now, and it's not good. I just don't want to know that. Like, stop. Just stop.
Well,
I
I
want
mean,
out of the group chat.
that's what media will. It'll continue to play out because it's
Yeah, and I think and unfortunately, I think, like, I get you releasing the stuff, but it's not cute. I want out of
mhm,
the group chat. Sir,
mm.
sir, I want out of the group chat now. I don't want to know I don't want to know the
Well,
stuff.
unfortunately, we can't control what else will get
Right.
released. Yeah.
Because we all know too much. And if you go on Instagram, there's multiple people saying, please let me out of the group chat. Please.
Mm,
Because it's just too much. There's knowing stuff and then there's knowing stuff. And we know
mhm,
stuff. And I'm just like, I don't want to know none of this. Y'all could
mhm.
have left that in court filings and everything else and hashed it out in court, and I've been none the wiser. I didn't need to hear, and I'm so happy I didn't hear the audio because I didn't heard about the text
I mean,
messages, and I'm like,
I just heard one, and it also makes me think he's already popular, and with that Club Shay Shay just taking off. Yeah.
yeah,
I'm
because
sure
he's
there's been so many, I don't know, so many women at him, even more so now.
sure.
with his
I'm
game, all
I'm
that's been
sure.
going
I
well
mean,
for him, and it just makes me think, I don't know what it's like to be in that position, and with all these women coming at him.
I just know for myself at this age, I'm not being bothered with no 19-year-old.
Yeah, that's you.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly
Mhm.
other people make different
I
choices.
just good, great. And whatever happens is whatever happened and keep me out of the group chat when it happens.
Yeah.
So, ain't nobody got to worry about Berlinda and stuff because, like, I would be like, stop talking to me because they would be talking about some dumb, random stuff. And I would be like, no, no, I can't waste my life talking to you. I'm losing brain cells right now. No,
It
I
depends on what they're
mean,
talking to me about. But yeah, I
like,
mean, it wouldn't be like,
I
"Oh,
mean,
let's be friends." Yeah, it would
it would
for
be a
me
stretch,
anyway. Yeah.
it would be a stretch right now with age 30. Age 30 would be better, but even at age 30 I would be looking at you like, how was you when I was in college? Oh, you wasn't born. Okay.
I could see I might have a friend in the 30s, but it just depends on what their outlook
Now
and how
38,
they
okay.
how they
38, okay. Yeah.
receive things. Yeah.
38, okay. 19,
But
that's a no.
I guess, yeah, for me, the older I get, I see more of the generational differences of how the younger generations for me were raised. Like, the older I get, the
Yeah.
divide for me is
Yeah.
larger.
I mean, we're Gen Xers. We were told to go outside, play in traffic, just don't get hit.
Yeah.
Whereas everybody else was coddled, and it's like, okay, I'm not. It seems like one is unsympathetic, and it's not that I'm unsympathetic, but I would just be like, you would be whining about something, and I'd be like, you start sounding like, well, back in my day, we didn't have
Yeah.
seatbelts. Somebody just put their arm out to stop you from flying through the windshield. That's what you start sounding like, you know?
Yeah.
But I mean, to each their own. Like I said, people do date younger and older than themselves. So that's not ever going to change. There's
Mm-hmm,
no
mm-hmm,
tried and true number, but you know, when, you know, but I didn't like the turn of events where it's like, well, it's okay for her to date younger, but then people got a problem when I date younger. Women have not been dating younger for that long because
mm-hmm,
of the criticism. And even still, it's kind of tiptoed around because of the criticism women will get about being older than their partner. So don't make it sound like women have been out there dating younger for a millennium. No, we
mm-hmm.
haven't and stuff. You get labeled cougars and everything else. And so, I mean, women dating younger is a newer phenomenon that people are, starting to get a little bit more comfortable with. But,
Mm-hmm.
what that statement also misses is that, when women date younger, there's always a discussion about reproduction.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever you're with, do they want to have kids and stuff, particularly if you are moving into that 40, 50 age range and dating somebody that is in their 50s and so forth and stuff. It's like, well, does he want to have kids and stuff if you have a male partner and stuff? And that whole reproduction conversation always comes up when you have women dating younger. So, I mean, like, don't act like it's readily acceptable for women to to date younger, because there's all types of issues that are come up with women dating younger that don't come up with men dating younger.
Very true. It's inherently that women don't date. There's a limit, Tom, how
Right.
young we date for the long term.
Right. I mean, you like, if there's a couple of years age difference to you, like, that goes kind of like nobody thinks about that. But when you start getting into that decade age difference and stuff between women, and particularly with a male partner, then you get into conversations about reproduction and stuff. So it was like his comment was disingenuous because it's also not understanding the scope of what you're saying. You're trying to deflect from your own personal situation, and people people
Of
talking about
course.
age.
Of
You know,
course.
women are coming into their own and have their own money and can,
Mhm.
you know, create their own homes and so forth and stuff.
Mhm.
And, you know, yeah, more and more are exploring finding partners that may be younger than them, but men are not facing that same question that women will face, particularly if your partner is younger and don't have kids regarding reproduction and so forth. So, I mean, like I said before, I don't have a problem with people dating younger. I know what I would or wouldn't do. I just asked Mr. Sharp to keep us out of the group chat. Thank you. It would be much appreciated.
And on that note, join us again for another
Their
veranda rant.
hot take. See you soon.
See ya.